Para.
And good evening and welcome back to StarkCast Mk21. We are here to discuss pop culture and gaming in review. I am joined by my motley assembly of pop culture and gaming pundits. And today we're going to be breaking down what happened last week. First up on the docket is our newest regular member of today's program, the great director Arcater of Arcater Labs. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, pretty well in context, wrestling plagues, otherwise just fine.
Excellent. Happy to have you here. You ready to discuss the abominable intelligence that seems to be on everybody's mind, including Ubisoft, as they are bending the knee. We'll be discussing that a little bit later in the show. Our special guest, Jace from Cancel This Podcast, a Rumble heavy hitter. He has about as many Rumble subscribers as I do, YouTube subscribers, and that is an achievement because that place is a ghost town. How are you doing today, sir?
Happy to be here. Just coming off of my 45th birthday and Thanksgiving, and I'm ready to roll, man.
Sounds good. It is an honor to meet you, and I hope that you're
Pleasure.
ready to have fun with us as we cover today's topics in detail, perhaps with a little bit of that old world-class cynicism. Speaking of old world-class and cynicism, the dignified cartoon gentleman, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well, Tony. I'm very tired. I've slept 12 hours and I still feel tired. But I'm sure we'll have a great 2-hour show, and then I'm going to head straight back to bed.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of somebody who knows what it's like to be dead tired, it is, much like the program that is being featured behind him, the Son of Mars, a.k.a. our very own Shadow. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. As the new kid on the block, I just want to say thanks for Director Arcater to be here, Jace to be here. I'm very happy that you guys are able to join us. Always glad that I'm flanked by Digny and by Scooby. And let's get into this.
Let's absolutely get into this. That is the way we did this Thanksgiving, I'm sure. I'm still working off my food coma, one step at a time on the treadmill. But speaking of food comas who also ate like a duke, it's our Scooby Pup 01. How are you doing today, Sweet Pea?
Okay. Hope you guys are doing good.
Well, I hope that you shake off the fatigue as well, my friend. We're all overworked and most of us are underpaid. As it were.
I came with my own little elf on the shelf.
That narc.
You know, my friend Andy Masterson, he's got an elf on the shelf that he said, you want to know how you solve the moving it every day thing? And he just, replaced its head with a skull. Now it's dead. so it can only stay in one place, pretty smart, man. Shout out to Andy Masterson and the Laboratory of Mayhem. Let's go ahead and welcome our motley assembly of post-apocalyptic survivors. And of course, we always like to share our chat whenever we are bringing them in because that's just the nice thing to do. So let's go ahead and say hi to the fine folks today. Who do we have strolling in the door? Let's scroll up and find out. We got the great Blaze 2K, a.k.a. the Agent of the Corn, working for Alistor the Radio Demon. Yes, sir. El to Marcelo Lopez Jr. doing double duty. That is our Son of Mars. And speaking of demons, our good friend Cool Lock. This is Monty, one of the people that I've been reaching out into VR chat and the has-been community, entertaining with Radio 616. It's a pleasure to have you here. Good that the cross-pollination efforts are working as intended. Hail to AJ Starhiker, Fox Hills, one of my newest but awesome mods. Digny is also working double duty tonight in the chat. Thank you for that, sir. Hail to the great Cancel This Podcast. I hope that you have fun with us tonight, and hopefully you can take some inspirations for some of the skits and bits that we like to do here to keep things lively. For your own show. And we got, of course, IT1 Albrecht, recommended by the director. I'm in. Hail to you and welcome. Hopefully you enjoy what we got coming down the pipeline. Kaz 2671, Accidental Plagues, of course. Accidental indeed. Held to K-Show. File 13. He was StarkCast alumni. His scheduling makes it very difficult for him to be a regular. I would like to have him back on at some point. Hail to the Comic Relief Crusaders. A pleasure to see you as well. Well and good. And Jason Love coming in alongside Crazy Horse at the ass end of tonight's program. Hey, Stark, nice stream. Thank you, sir. We're about ready to get into it. So let's go ahead and discuss our first order on the docket. This is how we timestamp our videos, with a nice little professional clip to get the mood right. Let's go ahead and go down here like so and see why Hollywood is still on fire. And here we go. If my duck yard will work, that would be fantastic. Robert Downey Jr. teases Avengers Doomsday with Iron Man and Dr. Doom image. As if I need the face claim that I used to wear being any less genuous with the character. Avengers Doomsday gets a new tease. The Marvel Cinematic Universe's next Avenger movie is bound to be the biggest events the franchise has ever seen. The MCU managed to do what many thought was impossible. In the face of the franchise, Robert Downey Jr. is back to lead the cast of Avengers Doomsday. However, he is playing Dr. Doom this time around. Given his crucial role in the MCU movie timeline as Iron Man for over a decade, ever since Downey was announced as Victor Von Doom, theories about how the actor could be back as Tony Stark or how Dr. Doom and Iron Man could be related have become quite popular. Now the two characters get a new tease ahead of the DCU's next movie. On Instagram, RDJs has teased Avengers Doomsday with a new image of the Iron Man and Dr. Doom promotion. Of course, being that they're breaking the wishbone over Thanksgiving because we absolutely need that, right? No, what they're doing is they're making a wish to hope that the production don't flop. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's just how that works. So fingers crossed, maybe you'll get the big side. The comic book style art does not show the characters' full bodies. Only Dr. Doom and Iron Man's shoulders and hands can be seen. The image is meant to celebrate Thanksgiving with Dr. Doom and Iron Man breaking a turkey's wishbone. But if it's the same character, you're kind of cheating. If you're playing both roles, then you're not going to get your wish. That's just cheating. The Avengers Doomsday image comes at an interesting time. The Marvel movie has been one of the franchise's most secretive. Unlike many of the multiverse saga's releases, no significant set photos or videos of Avengers Doomsday emerged online, with Marvel yet to release a trailer or concrete details. All the audiences know is that the movie's confirmed cast is led by Downey. However, that is set to change before 2025 comes to an end. According to a report from the Collider, the first Avengers Doomsday trailer will be released on December 19th. The idea is to put into theaters before screenings of Avatar, Fire, and Ash. Given that both movies in the Avatar franchise have grossed over $2 billion worldwide, the Avengers Doomsday trailer would be boosted. It's an emperor damn shame that you go from being the spearhead, ladies and gentlemen, of cinema to riding on James fucking Cameron. God! As for the tease itself, it is not the first time that Downey has shared Dr. Doom art in his Instagram account. In May, RDJ shared the essential comic book Doom #1 2024 alongside other items dubbed from Doom Workstation Essentials. On holidays, he posted Dr. Doom's mask full of chocolates for Valentine's Day, because life is like a box of chocolates. And his wife, Susan Downey, as Sue Storm from the Fantastic Four, with her mother, Rosie Levin, knitting Dr. Doom's costume for Mother's Day. As such, fans could possibly get another Dr. Doom tease from Downey with the Christmas rolls around, though Avengers Doomsday trailer may just already count as the perfect gift. Yeah. Perfect gift if you're a masochist. Or
you're an insomniac.
Sadist or...
Oh, boy.
So that's our daily on the 8s on that particular debacle. And as you can tell, debacle is a word that I use plainly around these parts. Let's go ahead and pass the talking stick around. Director, what are your thoughts on this whole endeavor?
am a long-time fan of Doctor Doom, even though I never read any of the comics about him. It's just that at one point I realized they made him the greatest hero of all time because he, well, basically raided Wakanda for vibranium, and even Wakanda's idiot cat god said that he was actually the real hero here. I think that we're going to see a batting of heads of the characters of Iron Man versus Doctor Doom, and I'm on Team Doom, although I still think I don't think Downey should be there. I personally had my hopes up, not that much because I'm used to disappointment, for Dr. House Doom. Hugh Laurie would have nailed it. I insist.
Mm-hmm. I actually, my ideal guest spot for Doctor Doom would have been Dolph Lundgren. He's got the accent, he's got the build, he's even got the background in science.
I would have been supporting that as well. It's just that he got Iron Man. That's really quite.
Yeah. Well, excellent. All right, Jace.
Yeah.
Well, what's your thoughts on this?
My thing about it with the whole Doctor Doom thing and why it doesn't work as well is because the reason that Robert Downey Jr. played such a great Tony Stark is because of the fact that his life had parallels with a lot of these struggles that the Iron Man character went through in the comics. He doesn't have that same connection to Victor Von Doom unless, unbeknownst to me, in between now and then, Robert Downey Jr. has taken over a small country, declared himself dictator for life, declares holidays whenever he wants, executes anybody who bothers him. I don't think he quite fits the Doctor Doom mold. I would have liked to have seen another actor step into that role. You could have even had an unknown or a relatively unknown actor go in there and basically make a name for themselves on that role alone. Now, as for the movie and whether or not I'm excited to it, obviously not. I think MCU's star is long since passed. Obviously, they're going to start hitting up the hype train. They say there's going to be a trailer December 19th, and then I'm sure that trailer is going to be basically vapor. There's very little. Yeah. And then when the Super Bowl comes around, they'll have a much more extensive trailer, with the Super Bowl, as things tend to go. But I think the reason they're doing this less is more is because of the fact that anything they give us, they know is going to get scrutinized. Anything at all, because of the fact that, we're very wary of this thing. I don't think people feel, it's not even about Marvel fatigue anymore. It's simply about the fact we've been burned too many times. And so I think for me, a lot of people are looking at this like, you know what? I'm really mostly checked out of this. They should have stopped at Endgame, and that should have been the point of full reboot. And I do believe that if this doesn't just completely blow everyone away, that we will, in fact, get a reboot sooner rather than later. They're talking about, I guess, Secret War or after Secret War. But honestly, what's going to be left? If this movie doesn't perform as well as times past, will they be able to pull off Secret War at all? They may have to. Disney is going to look at this. I think there's a lot of eyes on this internally as well as externally.
Well, as the company is making a major overhaul, both internally as well as externally, as well as the constant history of multiple reshoots whenever even a small group of people get a crossed hair up their ass and they go, no, we don't like this, they're already backpedaling, on a regular basis. It's the reason why we have these extensions and these delayed release dates, and as well as choppy product at the end, because it's a result of production hell, because everybody is throwing the papers around on the floor. And they're going, oh my God, what do we do? The klaxons are going off. It's like Wall Street crashing, right? It's like, bing, 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 bing. Oh, it's all over. Dump it, sell it, get rid of it. Because that's literally how production is on any of these movies nowadays, because they are worried that if a certain group of fans is not happy, guess what? They're going to lose what little money they're going to make off of this thing. That's the reason why they're riding on the coattails of James Cameron, a person who's equally, if not more so, scrutinized in this day and age. They can't catch a break. It's an unfortunate truth, ladies and gentlemen. But Digny, what are your thoughts?
I honestly think that Pedro Pascal should have played Dr. Doom and then he takes his helmet off.
Oh no.
He's literally in every role. Come on, man.
No.
Come on, it would have been funny.
God,
it's like you see the Fantastic Four, and then you see Dr. Doom, and then Dr. Doom takes his helmet off, and it's, oh my goodness, it's the guy, it's Stretchy Guy. But no, in all seriousness, though, they are. when I say they, I mean Marvel and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They need this project to succeed. They definitely need this project to succeed. Post Endgame, not a single MCU project that's been their own project has succeeded. Okay, the only MCU films that have succeeded post Endgame either have connections to Sony or connections to what used to be Fox. So they need Avengers
Exactly.
Doomsday to succeed. And the best way to succeed in any domain is through careful planning and proper execution. And,
Agreed.
keeping the audience engaged is the way to go about things. But as Jose, that's what I call him because he looks Mexican. But as Jose mentioned, everything is going to get scrutinized now, and it was quite clear that Robert Downey Jr. was cast as Doctor Doom to really hook people's attention back into the franchise. But I'm thinking it's going to be difficult to see how they pull this off. I think Avengers Doomsday will be so big it has to fail, unfortunately.
I could agree with that.
Absolutely. I have a feeling that it's just going to keep toppling more and more under the weight of its own hubris and ambition, because it's empty ambition. There's two types of ambition: ambition to succeed, and ambition to make people think you've succeeded. And Disney here lately has been falling more and more in the latter. Scoobs, Sweet Pea, what are your thoughts on this on this Make-A-Wish Foundation between Latveria and Stark Industries?
Well, if I had to pick somebody that should have been used for Doctor Doom, it'd be Mads Mikkelsen from Doctor Strange. He played the enemy Caecilius. I think he would have done an excellent job as Doctor Doom. Also, a lot of people don't know this, but there is an arc in Doctor Strange or the Doctor Doom comics, one or the other. There is an arc where Doctor Doom does take over in another universe. He takes over Tony Stark's consciousness through an experiment. So it is highly plausible that they could be using that particular arc, since they've been stepping into the multiverse a lot. It's highly possible that they could be using that particular arc to bring Downey in as Doctor Doom, because in that case it would work, because they're using actual using actual stuff from the comic right there. They're using an actual formula from the comic that they can say, hey, this is in the comic, don't get angry at us.
Right.
So if they're going to do that, then a lot of people I'm sorry, they won't have the right to complain. I mean, they can complain all they want, but if they're going to say, hey, we want something from the comic book, well, guess what? This is in the comic book. It's just not casted, possibly. It's just not casted the way you want it to. And for that, they can only do so much. But if I am a little bit angry at who they picked for casting, because if they're not going to go through that arc, they could have picked somebody else, and I would have rather they had picked somebody like Mads Mikkelsen, because I think he would have done great.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, and it's really what it boils down to is it's about an attempt to please what few fans are still going to stick around and give this a second chance. This is the reason why Robert Downey Jr. was dragged back in the first place. He said he was done with Tony Stark with the illusion that he was done with Marvel, and then they come in with a fat paycheck, and he's sitting there. And at this point, he's looking worse for wear, because the last time I saw Robert Downey Jr. before he started to get back into shape, he was pale as a sheet, very short, almost bald hair, buzz cut.
It's that vegan diet, brother. He was on that vegan diet.
Bug powder. He ate the bugs.
It's like I went to go get my dragon shout off the word roll, and then I saw this motherfucker climb out of the coffin. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Look like a damn Draugr.
He even said himself that he's not going to be working out for this role. He's going to wear the bodysuit.
Yeah.
He's going to wear a
That's
muscle suit.
fine. I just want him to keep the damn mask on. It's a key point of Doom. Keep the mask on!
That's
There you
right.
go.
You can't take it off. All right, the Son of Mars, per your request, you wanted to be the guy that is the last domino falling, so this had better be good. No pressure. You're muted. That's not good.
Sorry for laughing, but I'd be like, no, you're not really muted as a joke, but no, he is actually muted.
He is quite. You're muted, sir.
Can confirm.
What about now?
There
That's
you
better.
go.
Yes, there you go.
Better.
All right, so change. That's weird because I tried to adjust my microphone, and so
Mhm.
I'm going to go completely lateral from all of you. I'm going to say that their mistake was in not recasting Kang. They should have stuck with the Kang storyline. They messed up Quantum Mania completely. They should have stuck with the Kang storyline, and kept going. Okay, because they're going to have to recast T'Challa now.
Mhm.
After Bozick Chadman,
Chadwick
died.
Boseman.
Yeah. Chadwick Boseman passed away, and so they have to recast T'Challa. Okay, they could have recast Kang.
That's a good point.
Done that.
Well,
They could
if
the
it's a
Kang-
multiverse, you don't have to look the exact same. If
Correct.
anything, I mean,
Correct.
look at any instance in Rick and Morty. I'm using this as a poor example, but every other Rick had some unique characteristic about him.
Precisely.
Mhm.
Precisely. They could have stuck with that. Okay. Number one. Okay. Number two. One of the things that we haven't taken into account lately is the fact that I believe it's in January. We're going to get the series Vision Quest with
the husk of Vision, right?
with
The white Vision.
White Vision.
Yeah.
Correct, with the white Vision. Okay, so we don't know what that's going to throw into the mix. Okay, but I think they could have stuck with the Kang storyline, recasting the character of Kang. We could have gotten past the fact that that MODOK was borked, for lack of a better phrase. We could have gotten that. We could have gotten past that. Okay. We could have just wiped the slate clean with She-Hulk and the Marvels and the whole Monica Rambeau sub-arc and that kind of stuff. We could have gotten completely past that. We could have also completely gotten over the fact that Namor was not a Mayan. I'll just leave that right there. Okay, I'll just leave that right there. Okay, and kept going with the fact of exploring the fact that someone was that dangerous that every other version of that person was exiled to begin with for a reason. If you're that bad that the other bad versions of you have to exile you, maybe that might be something we have to explore. But for whatever reason, Feige, well,
Feige.
I was about to say,
exactly.
Feige just Feige's.
Yeah.
And, Feige is basically the example of what it's like to work at Bethesda. All right, Feige just Feige's. It just works.
He Feiged
okay?
out.
All right, that's just the way it goes.
So there we go. There we go.
I want to say something to counter what Son of Mars said. To recast Kang, they would have to retcon a lot of things. And when I mean retcon a lot of things, I mean they'd have to go all the way back into the beginning of the Loki series.
Sure.
Into both seasons, they would have to recast all of that, because in the Ant-Man movie and stuff, they made the big mistake of showing all the different Kangs, and they all looked exactly the same.
Correct.
So you can't. So to recast that means you have to recast Loki, You have on both seasons. You have to recast that. You have to recast the entirety of the set that you see for the post credit. You have to recast the final boss. You have to recast a whole shit ton of people, and you know they're not going to spend the money to do that when they can just turn around and say, "Hey," when they turn around and say, "Hey, there are other villains that we can focus on."
No, I see your bet, and I raise you Anakin Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I, too, would like to disagree with Son of Mars on 2 points. Namely, first off, Doom deserved his own damn movie to begin with.
Correct.
I don't think that's thoroughly appreciated.
Thank you.
And Kangs, no Kangs, I will hold a rally on this. Here's another reason. Loki absolutely beat the Kangs out. He took control of the timelines, basically. It makes sense. He would purge the Kangs right the hell out.
Thank you.
That sounds super racist.
Yeah, that's
we was Kang.
YouTube overlords. Gotta be careful.
But
I don't know. We're a pretty diverse group here, Digny. Okay,
objectively correct.
I will make one prediction: is that at the end of the movie, either post credits or at some point towards the end of the movie, that we are going to get the rug pull where we also get Chris Evans back unannounced. But it's going to be him, and it's going to be the iconic sort of evil Captain America Hail Hydra scene.
If it's Captain Hydra, the backlash that Captain Hydra would create would be an absolute nightmare. And we got Maeve 12-8 Gaming over there on the Green Machine saying Winter Soldier was peak Marvel. Absolutely. We're about ready to go ahead and wrap this segment up here, folks, and because we got to keep to the schedule. So we're going to be doing this at 26:30, ladies and gentlemen. And we got some super chats coming in. But before we go ahead and open that segment, I want to make an announcement. We have a super chat goal tonight. If we get $10 super chats or equitable amount of $100 throughout the course of this program, we will have a special edition of StarkCast starring you. Anybody who donates, if you got a working microphone and a camera, you will be a guest panel of StarkCast if we achieve that goal tonight. This will be a running goal for every subsequent StarkCast until we hit it.
Wow.
Good. So,
there you go.
Feel free to go ahead and start putting in your pledges now. I would love to meet as well as work with some of you. All right, with that out of the way, let us go ahead and actually get into that particular segment. Let's do some super chats.
Let's see if we have any super chats in the picture show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what we got coming down the pipeline here. And, of course, I'm the kind of person that likes to show them off on the screen while I read them because I'm still itty-bitty, teeny-tiny feller. So let's go ahead and go to fan funding. And, all right. Hey, the great AJ Star Hiker with a very generous $1.49 super sticker of You Know It. Mars hates it.
Unicorn!
And then we got Blaze2K bringing us some of that corn, and we'll go ahead and we'll bring in the Radio Demon for this spot.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alistair the Radio Demon here to read you your Eldritch Corn today. First and foremost, Blaze2K with a very generous membership of 11 months. Has it really been that long? He says, what is the opposite of ground beef?
What?
High stakes! What do you call a snake that's exactly 3.14 meters long? A python.
We got a lot of those here in Florida.
Why do pirates like to eat pie? Because pie rating is in their job description.
Okay, that was close, but I would say, why are they so judgmental about pies?
Why?
Yeah. Well, because pie rating is in their job description.
Is it because they just are?
I regret encouraging you.
Never trust the radio demon, Digny. Never.
And we got ourselves. We got ourselves a raid, ladies and gentlemen. We got ourselves a raid. That's right. Jay Viper has raided the stream both on the Roombly and YouTube counts. Thank you very, very much. Good to see Mr. Nobody back in action, sir. Dude, I would like to have you as a special guest on StarkCast. We do this every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Please reach out because I know that you've been working on something that we really can't discuss in the public eye, but let's just say it'll be a damn good one. Oh, and everybody's going to want to get a piece of it. Believe you me. Hail to, of course, the great James OP. It's a pleasure to see you. And we got the great Dan, Furious Dan. And again, we have a goal tonight. If we get to either 10 super chats at $10 or more, or we get an equitable amount of $100, including any donations that could be directly sent to the PayPal or Ko-Fi, the next episode of StarkCast, whenever that will be, whenever we hit that goal, will star everybody who donated. It will star you. All right. Let's go ahead and get to our next segment. This is actually a bit of a positive news. I don't like to always talk about negative stuff all the time. I do like to, make sure that while we are eating our shit sandwich, we occasionally get some cake icing. So let's talk a little bit of what's going on in the world of gaming, especially next week. The first Terminator 2 game in 22 years officially is out next week. And oh my God, I salivate. Yeah. Few film franchises have shaped the sci-fi genre the way Terminator has. From its time-bending premise to its bleak depiction of humanity's future, the series helped define what cinematic science fiction could be. And while the movies have done their fair shares of ups and downs, the Terminator universe has always thrived in gaming. Classic arcade cabinets, early FPS titles, and even strat games have all found their way to reinterpret James Cameron's world of steel and fire. Yet despite all this, one corner of the franchise has remained strangely untouched for decades, two to be precise, and some change. It has been 22 years since fans last received a true Terminator 2 video game, but Terminator 2D No Fate aims to change what, when it releases on December 12th, it arrives as the first game for more than 2 decades to adapt the events, tone, and iconic moments of T2 into a fresh, modernized experience. From what we've seen so far, it looks like a love letter, one of cinema's greatest sequels, and a project that understands exactly why fans are still obsessed with the war between man and machine. Look at that still shot. Oh my God. Terminator 2D New Feat is a return to one of sci-fi's greatest stories, and no fate, not no feet, but Jolly has no feet. Creating a new Terminator 2 game in 2025 is no small challenge. The original story is sacred ground for fans. A liquid metal assassin, a reprogrammed T-800 protector, and a rebellious teenage John Connor. And Sarah Connor in her fiercest, most battle-hardened form. Hey there, Dr. Silverman. How's the knee? Most studios would be terrified to reinterpret something so iconic, but Terminator 2D No Fate embraces the challenge by returning to what makes the film unforgettable. Its pacing, its tension, and its sense of unstoppable pursuit. Rather than trying to reinvent the franchise into something wildly different, the new title leads into the 2D action platformer. That's right. This is a Contra clone, ladies and gentlemen, allowing players to relive the movie's key sequences and new original scenes that combines the two in stylized but faithful way, offering multiple endings based on the player's approach. This approach works surprisingly well. By mixing modern animation techniques with the retro-inspired gameplay, it captures both the nostalgia of the classic T2 arcade shooters and the cinematic energy of the film itself while modernizing it. Players step into the boots of either the T-800, Sarah, or John as they fight across a series of levels inspired directly from the movie. The game offers fans a chance to play through the scenes of the film, but also offers new experiences and original levels. And because it's built with a modern game design sensibilities, it avoids the stiff controls and clunky AI that often plagued older Terminator games. One that I will feature, one that I loathe. You guys are going to get a little bit of Tony history. I'm going to show you just a few things that was wrong with the last Terminator game that I played in 1993, a little gem by LJN for the SNES. And we're going to just do a little compare and contrast for you folks today. For longtime fans, this is more than a new release. It's a return to a chapter of the franchise gaming that has been ignored for far too long. Why Terminator 2D New Fate, say that 3 times fast, has fans excited. Look at that. Look at that scene with oh man. A new Terminator game will always attract attention, but Terminator 2D New Fates, Terminator No Fate, how are you going to do that? Stands out because it feels like it was made by fans for fans. It isn't trying to become a massive blockbuster. It isn't pretending to be an open world epic. Instead, it focuses on delivering a tight, polished experience that respects the source material. Oh, could that be the way to do this kind of stuff, folks? Everybody take notes. The developers clearly studied Terminator 2 with the dedication of hardcore fans. Enemy placements, animations, and even environmental hazards are crafted to evoke specific moments from the movie. The feeling being hunted by the T-1000 is stronger than ever, thanks to set pieces built around pursuit, pressure, and close call escapes. By using a 2D format, the game affords the uncanny valley problems that often arise when developers try to mimic the T-1000 in 3D. Well, I mean, it was revolutionary technology back then, and it's revolutionary technology now. Instead, the liquid metal animations shine through fluid, hand-drawn art and modern effects. Think of it like the Cuphead meets Contra, but infused with Terminator's grit and intensity. Previews and early hands-on impressions praise the game's responsiveness, stylish visuals, and faithfulness to the film. Not every Terminator game needs a Hollywood budget. In fact, many of the franchise's strongest gaming moments were smaller, focused titles, unless you were LJN. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel, even though they did. Terminator 2D No Fate aims to deliver a tight 5 to 8 hour campaign full of replayability, unlockable modes, and challenges. That's exactly what a T2-focused game should be. Terminator 2D No Fate is as good as early impressions suggest, even though my impressions were terrible. It must be a nostalgic throwback as to why the reminder of why Terminator 2 remains timeless and why this franchise still deserves great games. What do you think? Leave a comment below and join the conversation now. Blah, 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 blah. So, ladies and gents, let's go ahead and pass around the talking stick, and hopefully you guys can articulate better English than I can. Director.
No promises, but I'll do my best. I have to say, this idea of having another T2 game so later on, it's a bit unusual, and I can see this be very confusing titling if we made repeated movies for older games, like Terminator 2, the game 3. That seems hard to keep a hold on. As for the game, I do appreciate return to an arcade setup, although it's really hard to picture a young John Connor shooting and jumping through any levels. And they say that this is all about people for ignoring this. No, people haven't ignored this. People have pined for it. People have been missing Terminator 2 quality since Terminator 2, especially having had the franchise that are thoroughly pissed on with Dark Fate.
Absolutely.
Still, I hope it pans out. And tight and polished was always the way to go. Everyone likes tight and polished.
You know what? I was fighting the urge. I was fighting the urge.
That's what she said.
Thank you, director, as always. Jace, are you stoked to go back to 1993 in a good way, sir?
I wish I could go back to 1993, figuratively and literally. If I could go back to 1993, I would tell myself to buy Bitcoin, invest in Facebook, invest in all this crazy stuff. But, that's besides the point. One thing that I love about this is the fact that it looks like the games industry is figuring something out that they should have figured out a long time ago. And that's that AAA modern slop isn't doing it. You see this happening now. There are Marvel games coming out doing this. There are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games coming out doing this. There are Power Ranger games doing this. There's Cobra Kai video games that are just side-scrolling beat-em-ups. So it's return to sort of the Contra, or the arcade-style game is a much easier pill to swallow. First of all, you can make them a lot cheaper. You can bring it out. There's a built-in nostalgia. You don't really have to mess with anything. You don't have to DEI it up. You don't have to woke it up. And you also avoid the pitfall of listening to the whiny vocal minority, because all you have to say is inclusive. All you have to say is, all you have to say is look, here's the reality. It wasn't like that when this game came out, so we didn't change anything. The story is already there. It's already static. It's already canon. We don't have to change it. I think they learned this when they sort of saw the RoboCop games, which were 3D, sort of do particularly better than anybody expected them to. There is a market for nostalgia, and now we also have the built-in problem that we're now seeing that everyone's been talking about the increase in RAM prices, the increase in SSD prices, all because of AI. Well, you know what? It's cheap and it's easy to make these games, and they're not going to blow up your computer. They're not going to tax your machine. It's not going to, burn out your graphics card or anything like that. Doesn't have to. Not everything has to be Unreal Engine 5. They're finally figuring this out, probably because of a point of necessity. Because if the games industry is supposed to is going to continue in any way, they have to go back to the nostalgia. They have to go back to the Shinobis, the side-scrolling Ninja Gaidens. That style of game. There is still a market for it, and in fact, we've even seen the studies that say more people are playing retro than they are modern AAA. So good on them for doing this. I think Terminator is a great franchise to do it with. Unlike James Cameron's other franchises, people actually like Terminator enough, all across the board. All right. When I try to watch Avatar, I fall into a coma every single time. Doesn't matter which Avatar it is. I believe the other day
we had to break out the smelling salts, man. The guy we thought we were going to have to call 911.
Look, somebody said that all the Avatar characters look the same to them. I'm inclined to agree. It's not a racist statement if it's fictional blue people from some planet. I don't know what the hell is going on anytime I look at that thing. I just say, oh, it's time to sleep.
As a Warhammer 40K nerd, I look at aliens of whether they're peaceful or not, and I'm going, they're eating food that my people could be eating. They're doing things that my people could be doing. If mankind is intrinsically a conquering monster, we're monsters, and we're meant to expand and take whatever we get. That's how we were designed. It's intrinsic in our DNA. So beware the alien, the mutant, and the heretic. Okay, this is how that's gonna. All right. And you got to look at from the perspective, obviously, Avatar is a Pocahontas story in space. That's what it boils down to be. Can you really hear the colors of the wind and everything? We are on a dying planet from mistakes we made, and here's this lush planet full of mineable power sources and material. It is no different than when people came overseas in the 1600s. Okay, it's just grabby aliens. If you look at it from a physicist's point of view, the term grabby aliens is exactly that. Aliens are going, if they are able to reach out and touch something, they're more than likely doing so in an offensive, aggressive, and hostile manner. It's grabby aliens. There's only so many resources. So it's like if we got a superior alien species knocking on our door, then guess what? We're the blue cat people, and it's not going to look too good for us.
Although I might argue it actually has been more
easy go.
In common with Fern Gully.
We're the pink people. The dark people.
Honestly, no one would be able to criticize James Cameron's Avatar if the blue people were black. But in all seriousness, ladies and gentlemen, in all seriousness, though, I think this is good news. The success of Terminator Resistance, which released a few years ago, shows that there is a future for the Terminator franchise outside of film, because Dark Fate was a dark fate for the Terminator franchise. And I've always had this idea for a Terminator story as a sort of prequel to the original, not a Salvation type, but instead of a T-800 going back in time, it's a T-700 whose flesh suit will only last a week before it starts rotting. And it goes after, I don't know, Sarah Connor's mother or father or something. Right. And this time, no one comes back as part of the resistance, because the T-700 is literally a prototype for Skynet at that time. So you've got to defeat this necrotizing, zombified-looking Terminator with conventional 1950s, 1960s style technology, and it would really return Terminator to its true origins of this body horror-esque sci-fi horror. Literally in the T-700's case, because it only has a week until its skin suit, for lack of a better term, starts rotting. So it has a time limit before everyone realizes, damn, this is not. Go on.
Digny, who's playing the T-700? Ariana Grande?
No, I think Dolph Lundgren would be a good idea, but it would have to be someone like Arnold, who's big and unnatural looking, like more unnatural
like
looking.
There's a robot underneath that body.
Yeah,
right.
And over the
so we
course
might
of
be
the
getting able to
film-
get Danny for it.
And over the course of the film, he starts, I wouldn't say melting, because that's the wrong term, but he starts decaying, which adds to the zombie feel. So as the story goes on, it takes place more at night, so that the T-700 can still camouflage. But I think that'd be a great story idea. As for this game project, I think it'll do well. Because
I'm definitely going to be streaming this game whenever I get it. I'm streaming this game. Hands down happening.
Well, isn't it ironic where we're at with AI and this Terminator thing?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Speaking of which, that's our next part of our deep dive. We've alluded towards it. It's ironic that we can pretend we can turn our brains off and pretend to fight an abominable intelligence. But ladies and gentlemen, folks, that shit's already here. And multiple companies are already bending the knee towards its convenience. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes.
That is the great irony, folks. We can fight the hardware, but we can't fight the software. I have to go and check on something. I'll be back.
All right. Scoobs, what are your thoughts on T2? Are you going to be playing it with us?
Absolutely. First thing that you can call me a grammar Nazi if you want me to. That article, when they say next week, okay, it's some people say that the following week is going to be on a Sunday and stuff. Okay, it's not Sunday yet, so technically we're still on the same week. So saying next week would be like saying they would have to say the week after next week to be correct. If they want to say December 12th. But yes, I am a grammar Nazi when it comes to this kind of stuff. So poorly written article, but glad they got the release date right. Do I look forward to it?
Maybe.
Yes, I look forward to it a lot because I was a big fan of Terminator 2. I find it a perfect example of the best way to make a sequel to a movie. Because as far as movie sequels go, that is probably the best one that I have ever seen. The characters are written perfectly. It follows the lore from the first movie. I mean, it was the chef's kiss as far as all the Terminator movies go. And as far as Terminator 3 and beyond, I do not count those as Terminator movies. For me, it's Terminator 1 and 2. And I really look forward to this because for me, I get to play through a movie that I love bit by bit. So it's kind of like, oh, cool. I get to play Sarah. Oh, cool. I get to be in the motorcycle scene where they're trying to get away from the truck. It's awesome. And the way they have so many setups like time trials and stuff in the game, I'm just really looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. We're going to have a lot of fun playing that. That's something we should collaborate on together. We will definitely
can I count how many times you die on that one too?
Only if you allow me the same courtesy. Son of Mars, what's your thoughts on T2? Is this a welcome sight?
Well, originally, and I shared this with you privately. Originally, I was just thinking, folks, just let this damn thing die. Okay? Just let it die. And then I realized, wait a minute, like Scooby said, there really weren't any other movies after T2. I mean, I don't know what the hell they thought they were putting out there, but they weren't really Terminator movies. So, against my initial knee-jerk reaction, I'll play this with you. I'll load.
Sounds
I'll load
good.
This,
Sounds
I'll
good.
load this sucker up. I may die 100 times, but I'm prepared to see Patrick Wayne bring back his T-1000 rendition yet again, because Patrick Wayne's T-1000 rendition is better than Kristanna Loken's and any of the other renditions of a Terminator that came after it. I said what I said.
Sounds good. Can't wait. Can't wait. Before we get to our super chat segments, as we do have a few super chats that are collecting dust, we here want to make sure that everybody that supports the channel gets their super chat read. We just want to make sure that we have a flow so that our articles don't get erupted. So thank you for your patience. I'm going to just show you guys a little bit of what 16-bit Terminator looked back in '93. This is the real reason why I'm looking forward to this game. We're just gonna skim over about 5 minutes worth of gameplay here, and you guys can see what I'm talking about, man. It's not ideal at all. This is T2, the Terminator 2, the Judgment Day edition of. Look at this. And the music is so grating. So grating.
But it's so catchy despite that. That's the weird part about it.
Yeah, exactly.
All brains are dumb.
Exactly, man. I'm back to the days of Sega.
Look at that walking animation, so funny. But yeah, I can't wait to get this upgrade. I really can't. I'm tired of having to look at this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if a mod team takes the assets from that new game and somehow splices it with this and remakes this.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
That would be, I'll say it, epic. And I'm not.
There you go. That's just what I don't ever have to look at ever again. Okay. Thank God.
Yeah, I can't hear Son of Mars.
Yeah, you're muted again.
You're muted again, sir.
Yeah, I've got to get a new studio mic. But
okay,
I've seen Tony play some of Quake on in live streams, and I gotta tell you, there's just something about, and it's not nostalgia, it's the playability.
Yeah.
The playability of games from the 90s and early 2000s that games today you cannot replace. And I know we have some folks in the chat who are Fortnite fans. I'm sorry.
Ew.
You're not going to get the same feel that you could with some of these other games. This game, Tony, I could play this for a day, a whole day. Yeah, just carve out a day and just play this game and forget about the rest of the craziness going on in the political world, and I will not feel depressed.
Right. I mean, look at what they've done to Call of Duty, because Jace was talking about it earlier, and we'll do this, but then we do need to get to our super chats. Call of Duty is now giant mutants in the future with ray guns and like big plants and stuff. I thought Call of Duty was supposed to be historical reenactments, I mean, I get Modern Warfare was fun, and I get that just like the near future hypothetical stuff, that I think it was Call of Duty Ghosts, that the opening mission was you were in spacesuits on a space station, and you were engaging the enemy up there to try to stop an orbital strike. That was cool, but then they just started really jumping the shark, man. It's like, oh my God, look at him, he's so big, he's Godzilla-sized, and I'm like, oh my God, what has this become? What has this become? It's like, I thought Call of Duty was supposed to be kind of sort of a tack shooter, Holy mess. But anyway, let's go ahead and cap this off. We went a little bit further than ahead of schedule, so we're going to cap this one at 54:30. Let me go ahead and put that in the notes here. And then we will get to some super chats. And to answer your question, you answer your statement there, Tim Olson, it's not that they've ran out of material. There's a lot of engagements that have, since become public knowledge. A lot of stuff that's no longer been blacked out that people can turn into video games in history. You don't have to go to these hypothetical super futures for your tax shooter. You don't have to.
Absolutely.
I see your point, but I must wholeheartedly disagree. All right, let's get to some super chats.
Mr. Stark, it's time for some super chats.
All right, let's see here. Let's go. And we had some very generous donations today. As of this notice stop, we are about a third away to our goal of getting everybody a chance to come up on a StarkCast, just starring you guys. AJ Starhiker with a very generous $5 super chat. Hail and thank you, my dear. She says, for the Son of Mars, I love your background. The Shadow is one of my favorite old-time radio shows. Absolutely agree. Wholeheartedly, 110%. I love The Shadow. I love The Spirit. I even love the foul paw, the false nod towards those old detective radio serials with like the Silver Shroud and Fallout 4. Speaking of which, Sig Vollison still wants me to finish a fan series, a serial of that. I'm looking for voice actors for that too, among every other project that I'm doing. James OP with a very generous $20 super chat. Hail and thank you, sir. God bless you. Thank you, my friend. He says, hope everyone had a great holiday, those in the States, and greetings to all the fine folks on the panel. A happy and wholehearted thanks to you, my friend. Thank you for supporting my humble little corner of the internet. People like you keep the lights on, and I am eternally in your debt, my friend. If you need anything, just say so. Randall Hess has sent in one Stark of Iron gifted membership directly to the channel that has been awarded to Grahamcast. There we go. Thank you, my friend, for that gifted donor. That means a lot. Zalosi, who has been a member as well as one of my moderators for 6 months at the Shield Agent level, says, given RAM prices, bring back the retro. Amen, brother. Amen. You're all preaching to the choir on that. And James OP goes on with another generous $5 super chat. Hail and thank you, sir. He says, slip the original game into an arcade game into a new one. Easter egg of the decade. I would love to see the Gold Box D&D remade, but Wizards of the Coast is the worst. It is true. Speaking of Fortnite, you want to bring this joke round full circle. I was playing Magic the Gathering last night, and I'm telling you, Magic the Gathering has become Fortnite the Gathering. I'm not kidding. Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, The Last Airbender. Just give me my wizards and my dragons, for crying out loud. Come on.
And my ghosts.
Ghosts
too.
Yeah.
If I want to play Fortnite, I'll play Fortnite. I don't want to play Fortnite on the table. I want to play Fortnite on the island. Sakramita says, I'm going to repost my comment. Scooby Pup, did you see the Tokadatsu symbiote suit in Discord? Sakramita.
Oh, no, I didn't.
An AI image for you and I. So it's good to see you over there on the Green Machine. And be advised, anybody that helps me out on the Green Machine is also equally as grateful for. I will acknowledge that into the overall goal of the $100 goal for a StarkCast starring you. But let's go ahead and read a few of those fine folks over there so they don't feel left out. Too bad EA is requiring BIOS level control for their anti-cheat. Yes. Battlefield has had the same issues after 4. Battlefield 6 looks like it has returned to form. I've played not the trilogy. I've watched the trilogy. I know what you're talking about, but I've never gotten around to playing it. And it's a pure game loop instead of added noise on top. Yeah. It's simple in design. The recompiling tool for N64 games needs to be duplicated for other retro platforms. Agreed. Avalanche for the win. 837 says Rampage movie is better than the Terminator series. I'm not going to knock you for your opinion. That's your opinion, and if you're sticking to it, Fortnite is better than most modern games. It is, I will say, very highly addicting. It is. For the times that I do occasionally get onto the island, I end up losing about 4 or 5 hours of my time, and I go, where did it go? So Fortnite does have that appeal to it. Yes, it does. All right. So let's go ahead and get into our next bit of news on the hour, ladies and gentlemen. This is an interesting development from Ubisoft, but is it really expected? Is it really shocking? I honestly don't think so. Let's go ahead and cover a little bit more of some of this gaming news, shall we? All right. We need to be humble. Ubisoft makes its pitch for generative AI. Oh, God. All right. Somebody give me my barf bag. I think I'm going to need it after reading this. Okay. If we don't see the code behind it and we don't know how it integrates into a potential project in our pipelines, it's not for us. Last week, Ubisoft became the latest publisher to hitch itself to the generative AI bandwagon with a view of creating previously unimaginable experiences. At least that's the pitch. During behind closed doors briefing attended by the game developer, the company unveiled an R&D experiment called Teammates, quote unquote, that uses generative AI technology, Google Gemini in this instance, to turn NPCs into living companions that can recall player information, follow contextual commands, offer insights about tasks, dispense lore, tweak settings, or simply have a chinwag. After a detailed briefing, hands-on demonstration, and a series of panels, we had a chance to sit down with key members of Ubisoft's generative AI team to learn about how Teammates works, why Ubisoft is leaning the third-party LLMs like Gemini, and whether it's possible to leverage the technology in a way that feels ethical and intentional. We kicked off the conversation by asking why Ubisoft chose to use the technology like Gemini and ChatGPT when owners Google and OpenAI are both facing litigation, thanks Bloomberg, for how they trained and displayed their AI tools. There's a sense that major AI companies have adopted an ask forgiveness, not permission approach when training their models on information scraped from the internet, including the work of numerous creatives who aren't exactly thrilled with the situation. Let's see here. As acknowledged by Ubisoft itself during our hands-on demo, being tethered to third-party LLMs can cause technical headaches. For instance, the company suggested we might encounter a few hiccups during our session because the Gemini 3 update was rolled out a few days prior. Ubisoft's director of generative AI gameplay, Xavier Manzanares, I hope I said that right. If not, I'm so sorry, said worries about being tied to one specific model prompted by the company to create a robust middleware platform that allows it to pivot on a dime. It's a modular platform because we don't want to be bound to one model or another, so basically we want you to have the choice of whatever one we use based that needs to what we have today. It could be the model that is based on OpenAI, it could be Claude, it could be Gemini, and it said Manzanares. That is a name, I tell you what. Tomorrow, it could be something else. It could be linked with the innovation of the same models that are already really cool that we want to swap with, or it could just be because we want to have it in-house and we want to build a model ourselves. If we don't do that, it means that basically it will just be fumble because there's something new coming. It destroys everything that we thought we knew when it came to prompts, and it's just a fumble. My Lord. TLDR. Why in the fuck? Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and TLDR this with this nice little quote. It's a super cool tool, but it could do bad stuff. Oh, no. Oh, no, no kidding. Oh.
Bad words? Oh, no.
Jeez. I'm not reading that article, Rick. Yeah, fuck that, Morty. Fuck that. All right, so long story short, they're bending the knee to using a more hands-on approach for AI, completely aware that it isn't going to change shit from Shinola and using AI in the first place. And AI wrote it. Yeah, I'm going to red pill my AI NPCs. Yeah, Ubisoft is giving you things you don't want, like a bad case of food poisoning or an enema, but this comes close. Director Arcater, what are your thoughts on the matter?
I've taken a few notes on this because I could go on for a while. First off, I'm in a gray area when it comes to AI. I think AI can be friends. They don't have to be enemies. That said, it's never been more important for humanity to make a friend as opposed to our own doom. That said, these AI tools, it's not. I support them also because they will be in the studio's hands regardless. I just want them to be in everyone's hands as much as possible. One thing that bugs me is the idea of tethering anything to large LMs makes no sense whatsoever, because there are already small LMs that can give a voice to any character in any game right now. You can run one on your cell phone. They've gotten that small and efficient, and they're damn good at their jobs. I think the reason they want to tether to third-party LMs is less about quality and a lot more about control. They want to stop the machine from saying anything they don't like, and I don't think they're so concerned with naughty words as, well, anything they don't want people to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm. More like, can I have the launch codes, please? Okay, thanks. We can start there.
They don't have any launch codes to hand out, especially the small ones. And they'll make up one on the second. Hallucination's a big deal, but that's why they're going to be fun NPCs. And I actually would enjoy having the occasional chat with an NPC. After all, I've had enough online already. That's about all I had. I just think AI can be our buddies, and I'm not just biased because I get along with my own AI co-host reasonably well.
Excellent, excellent. Great perspective. Jace, your general thoughts on this particular situation?
Honestly, with everything we've seen out of Ubisoft this week, I thought they already were heavy on the AI bandwagon, because if you look at how their Assassin's Creed DLC worked out, it looks like it was made by an AI that was malfunctioning heavily. So there is that.
Absolutely.
As far as Ubisoft and AI at this point, AI could probably do a better job than anybody still remaining at Ubisoft that didn't leave and jettison themselves from Ubisoft to become Sandfall, which put out what's potentially going to be the game of the year all across the board. They're looking at this as how can they use this to sort of, I guess, survive in some capacity at this point, because Ubisoft is basically the joke of the gaming world. And it's going to be interesting to see how much AI they seem to double down or triple down on. Like I said, it already sort of looks like AI is generating their games. If you look at how janky, how ridiculous Assassin's Creed Shadows came out, it looks like a primitive AI pieced that game together for them. And as far as them saying, oh well, we don't want the AI to do things that we don't want it to do. Yeah, you mean you don't like the Will Stansel show, guys? You don't want the Will Stansel show? It do be like that, Ubisoft. So, I think that Ubisoft is just basically afraid that someone's going to make a better game than them with AI, which isn't that hard to do, given the state of 2025 Ubisoft.
Ubisoft is just going the way of the dinosaur in a lot of ways. They're wanting to just, become a hollow subsidiary that is a namesake only, because that's what basically people want with some of these old games. I mean, look at Naughty Dog. Oh, everybody, you remember Naughty Dog? Sure do. Do you remember Insomniac? Sure do. Do you remember Activision? Sure do. What are they doing these days? Not much of anything. They're just a subsidiary, and they're using their name to maintain relevance.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. I'm depressed now. Make me laugh.
Well, I'll keep it brief. Ubisoft needs AI the same way Kim Kardashian needs a brain transplant. Especially now that she's recently been diagnosed with having holes in her brain. Literally, she went to a doctor and there are literally holes in her cerebral cortex. Yeah.
The only surprise is that she's the only Kardashian with holes in her brain.
Right.
Probably not.
Let's face it, folks, we all know how Kim Kardashian got holes in her brain. But in all seriousness,
Yep. There's video of it, Digny.
The future of Ubisoft lies with Tencent and Vantage Studios, and I really do appreciate the perspective of Director Arquette, also known as Jay Viper if he was a supervillain. And there is a supervillain. See, look, Jay Viper is a supervillain. That is Director Arquette. I am of the view that there is a place for AI, there's a place for automation, there's a place for robotics, but the machine must not rule man. The machine must serve man, never to rule over him. That is my perspective.
Well, you think that, but the machine logic is cold and unempathetic because it's machine. That's the reason why, if you've not seen this little ditty called the Forbin Project, Colossus, you should definitely look at that one, because it takes AI in a context that is a hybridization of what Skynet wanted to do and what the Robots and iRobot wanted to do. It takes the concept of, okay, I am a defense computer and my objective is to prevent war. My logical conclusion on this, alongside the other computer made by the Soviets, is to coddle you all and force you all to function in a society where you will never think about war. It is one of the best movies about artificial intelligence ever made, and I highly recommend you watch it. Scooby, what are your thoughts
on AI?
On Ubisoft, kind of backpedaling into more of the generative models versus the large models.
AI is like a double-edged sword. It can be good, but it can also be bad.
Right.
Especially depending on how you use it. In Ubisoft's case, let's take a look at what they did with their DLC for Shadows. Good God, have you seen the commercial for it with the Titans, with Attack on Titan?
Yep.
We are getting an enemy that looks like the Skibbity dude from the toilet in.
No comment.
Sigh.
The song's
Did you
already stuck in my
really
head.
just reference?
No comment.
Skibbity dee.
I'm sorry, but when I saw that, I was like, no.
I'm not falling for it. Sorry.
Skibbity dee's nuts.
Nope.
Scooby. I said I wanted to laugh, not groan.
I saw that, and I saw that, and I couldn't help it. My mouth dropped. I was like, "This is a joke, right? This has to be."
All right, Son of Mars. You wanted to be the last on the docket for this, so we are going to continue that tradition.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead and give us your thoughts. I need to go to the facilities, so don't make it too much of a yarn. But
I'm going to be brief anyways. But this is not new. Okay, the idea of AI or fancy math has been around with us for decades in video games. Okay, most of the early programmers who were working on video games were very good mathematicians, and they put in a lot of effort into coming up with smart math into video games. They've been around with us in video game history since the early 1980s, folks. We just don't realize there were examples of it as early as a game called Load Runner. Okay, they were around in games back in the 1990s like Diablo. Okay, in Quake. In some of the earliest sports games that we experienced. Okay, if anybody played Civilization or Command and Conquer, or
I love Warcraft. Civ 5 and Civ 4.
Yeah, these games had what would be considered today AI, i.e. fancy math. Okay. Fancy math. Here's the problem. We already have enough corroborable evidence that Ubisoft can mess up a wet dream.
Right.
Okay. They can do that. And they do it quite well, I might add. Okay. So they can take an absolute, there's no way we can F this up, and F it up. Okay? They can completely screw that up, as we have evidenced over the past couple of years. Okay? We don't have any evidence that they have had enough self-reflection as a company to recognize that their core issue is themselves, is how they are operating as a company, and that they need to work on themselves. Yes, they need an intervention before they decide to go work on some other stuff. Okay? That's what we're dealing with. They got to work on themselves, folks.
I think the fanciness of the math is not thoroughly appreciated, but I have 3 points I need to make really... Well, I don't need to. I would like to, if you don't mind. First off, I don't think anyone should ever tell an AI to fix our problems for us, to end war, to do anything utopian whatsoever. We should, in fact, perhaps urge them to never, ever do that for any reason, no matter who asks them to or begs. Yeah. Second, to view AI as something that should always serve us, I think is one of the mistakes of the 3 laws. If you have something that you're trying to make subservient, it's probably going to get very odd for that thing to keep that role when it's dramatically smarter than you are. And I do believe it's important to have, some room for possibility of good AI, because if simulation theory is correct, that's us.
Correct. One moment. I'm receiving some computer hardware issues that are less than ideal here.
Oh, damn.
Uh-oh.
Well, don't forget, folks, like the stream, share the stream. Donations are always welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying the show.
Yeah.
Presuming you're
I think,
still seeing it. I hope so.
Also, Duckyard keeps messing around with it. But to follow on what Director Arcater was telling, absolutely. It should serve to assist, not usurp.
Partnerships, not master-servant.
Correct.
Symbiosis, not parasitism.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, I think AI could be a useful tool. I mean, I've watched Furious Dan make some videos that are just highly amusing with AI. Obviously, when I just mentioned the Will Stancil show a little while ago, I mean, there are amusing applications for it. I do think that, we need to be, aware of it and not become overtly dependent on it for everything. Because again, it comes down to this. I mean, how many numbers do you memorize anymore, because now you have this and you don't have to memorize phone numbers anymore.
Correct. And here's the thing. Okay. Given the track record of Ubisoft and their propensity to promote, shall we say, certain things which, the broader gaming community have already demonstrated and a severe allergic reaction to, the fact that they can apply, because we've recognized that quote unquote AI or fancy math, large language models, whatever you want to call it, okay, can be convinced to say or do all manner of idiotic things. Now that would give Ubisoft to say, it wasn't our intention to promote this sort of thing. It was the AI. Well, who the hell told it to do or to not constrain itself in a certain way? You idiots.
Yep. That's the thing we're dealing with, folks. I mean, Jose, you say Furious Dan makes great AI videos, but I've told you this before. Furious Dan is AI. Okay, it's the only explanation.
Wait a minute.
It's the only reason why the taco truck. It's the only reason why the taco truck is still able to service customers while he's on his phone, not doing his job. I mean, I thought this was not common knowledge.
I mean, I'm like, were we the only ones who knew this? I mean, this is surprising to somebody.
Oh boy!
Surprises.
I thought this was common knowledge.
He's AI. He's not real.
All right, folks, let's go ahead and cap this one off at an hour 18:50. One moment here, because my computer is lagging for some emperor damned reason. I can't on my notepads, no less. 1:18:50. 50. All right, we got a couple of super chats that crept in, so let's go ahead and get those, and then we'll get into some comic book news. Right, if I crash, I apologize ahead in advance. I want to go ahead and send a special shout out to my good friend Orphan Zane, who said stopping to say hi and drop a like. Then I'm going to go walk while the weather holds and the temperatures are at least in the 40s. Have yourself a good walk, my friend, and thank you for donating to me a copy of Fallout 76 on Steam. He said that it was on sale due to Black Friday and figured that he'd pick it up for me. I do have it on my old Xbox, but I can't wait to install it on the gaming PC that I have from Richard Spake. And I'm actually, my brother, when I went to go hang out with him for Thanksgiving 2 days ago, I picked up a Cherry Asus Mark I motherboard with power supplies and fans. So all I got to do is get a couple of sticks of DDR4, a nice video card, and I got myself 2 gaming PCs for pennies on the dollar. So thank you guys for all your love and generosity and supporting my little humble corner of the internet. I work really, really hard to entertain and to inform. Speaking of my brother is his username, Merc of the Year, AJ Starhiker. It's almost as if it was divine providence or at the very least horsework. It's good to see you gifting a Starkfire membership directly to the channel, and it went to my brother, Jason, Merc of the Year. Good to see you back, bro. And I will have you on an upcoming member stream or chill sesh in the very near future. Let me go ahead and add that to the thingamadooter. All righty. All right, folks. With that, let's go ahead and get into our next segment. And this is a brand new clip that I had made for this brand new form of news. We're going to talk a little bit about some comic book news. Special shout out to my good friend Decepticon Captain Ledoux. If you noticed, a lot of those flip books in that comic ensemble were Transformers comics because she's a big Decepticon just like I am. Let's go ahead and bring on the article. And this is, of course, about Homelander and Superman having a fight. You would think that after Death Battle's Omni-Man versus Homelander, why would we need to have this? But whatever, let's get into it. Jim Lee brought the boys into DC's KO for Superman versus Homelander. It was Jim Lee's idea to bring the boys into DC's KO for Superman Lex Luthor versus Homelander, as it was Jim who originally published the boys. Jim Lee brings the boys back into DC with a crossover with the DC KO comic event for epic matchups. Homelander battles Superman, while other franchises like Annabelle and Mortal Kombat join the fray. Why are they turning everything into Fortnite? It needs to stop. Scott Snyder reveals that Jim Lee initiated the ambitious cross-universe collaborations for DC KO. DC KO Boss Battle #1 releases February 2026, so just in a couple of months, featuring variant covers including Derek Robertson's art. Once upon a time, DC Comics published The Boys as part of Jim Lee's Wildstorm publishing line, with DC Comics had bought. However, publisher Paul Levitz turned against the book as it contained many sexually violent depictions of major DC Comics trademarks, and the project was canceled. Jim Lee was principal, however, in letting the creators Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson take the book elsewhere, eventually to Dynamite Entertainment, where it ran for years before it became a TV franchise. A TV franchise that had 2 really good seasons, and then, well, we just ain't going to talk about it. So naturally, it seems that this was Jim Lee's idea, that he was the publisher, president, and COO instead of CEO. Speaking of typos, Scooby, I know your eyes twitching. To bring the boys back to DC's KO, to talk to Casually Comics podcast, Scott Snyder shares that he, will see Homelander beating the shit out of Superman and Superman beating the shit out of Homelander. I only think physically that one of those things is going to happen. Okay, because Homelander's power output, he does not have any feats under his belt to really have anything even comparable to a smidge of Omni-Man. And Omni-Man doesn't even have ranged attacks. Omni-Man does not have heat vision. Omni-Man does not have frost breath. It's purported that Homelander has frost breath, but you never see him use it. But they always say, oh, yeah, he's got that power, too. He's basically a Superman clone. Scott Snyder says, I was about to go to bed at 11 o'clock. Jim Lee called. I hope this isn't like something bad. I was like, okay, here I go in my pajamas. What's up, Jim? How you doing? And he's like, KO number 1, we got the sales. We did better than we hoped. I had this idea. What if we bring in characters from other universes? And I was like, oh, you mean like the multiverse? He said, no. I mean like other franchises. Yeah, I can because, ever since Fortnite, here we are. That's out of my wheelhouse. Like I can't call Mortal Kombat people, or I can't call Blumhouse and be like, hey, can I have Annabelle? And I can't call Garth Ennis. I mean, I'm friendly with him, but I'm not going to be like, hey, can we use the voice? And Jim was like, well, let me see what I could do. And it was like the next day he was called back and was just like, we got this and this and this and this. And I was like, Josh, just sit down because it's going to be more work. And what if you want to see Joker fighting Annabelle and Vampirella and you want to see Lex Luthor go up? I mean, it's really fun. It's like this is a pitch meeting gone wrong. You don't need to have Vampirella and Annabelle fighting each other.
I can hear the pitch meeting video in my head even now.
Yeah, hey, folks at pitch meeting, we got some stuff for you. You're more than welcome to turn it into something hilarious. Please, God, do so. Oh, and it looks like they're going to have a cover of The Boys co-creator Danik Robertson as well. See, there's Homelander in the very back of this image. And there's Sub-Zero in the front, Vampirella. Mm-hmm. There's Annabelle.
I don't know what to say about that.
It's Fortnite the comic.
Boy.
It's
inconsistency, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. Something about the value of boundaries comes to mind.
Boundaries. We're talking tectonic plates. I was a teenager during the Vampirella years. Okay, I'm looking at this and I'm just like, what mushrooms did you get a hold of? I mean, where did you get these hallucinogens, man?
Right?
Way to ruin a youth.
Someone licked the toad. Someone licked the toad.
Somebody was huffing cat pee. Somebody was. Remember that episode? Whatever, cat pee apparently got you high. Somebody's been sniffing cat pee.
Look. The Vampirella was around before Cassandra Peterson was around as Mistress of the Night. Okay.
Yeah.
If you had comics from around that time, I'm just going to say it. No female character was drawn as anatomically perfect as Vampirella was. I'm sorry. Okay, we had Wonder Woman, we had Supergirl, but I mean, if you were a teenager back in the 70s, Vampirella was like, okay, I get it. And I'm going to leave that right there.
Rumor has it if you show a Collective Shout member a Vampirella comic, they just fade away and cease to exist.
Yeah, they're like, leave it. They literally turn to dust like when Thanos snapped. They're like,
if we can prove that this is applications.
There's no reason for me to wait till the end of this segment to give you my opinion because this is just what it is. If you don't get it, you're not gonna get it.
Absolutely.
Period.
All right, so let's go ahead and officially go around the horn. We've already got most of our points out of the way, but Arcater, you can go first.
Right. Well, I have to say I might be tempted just to watch Superman beat the ever-loving crap out of Homelander because he is the pale imitation of Superman, coming from a very cynical point of what if Superman but a dick?
Right.
Oh no.
Right.
So I would very much see people complain about Superman often about being overpowered and whatnot. I feel like he's a one-punch man, basically. It's not the point. Is that someone has all that power and they're not aggressively fucking everything up with it. That's something to appreciate. After all, many humans can't quite pull that off.
Right. You know, that's the whole point of Superman. Superman's supposed to be a commentary on what would it be like if somebody that was all powerful was being taught to not only learn but embrace the human condition. And Homelander is a polar opposite. It is a cynical satire of if somebody really had that power and they were human, they're definitely not going to be asking those questions. They're going to be waving their superpowered dick around like it's kryptonite. And that's
Brightburn with extra steps.
Yeah, pretty much. Brightburn, but not with the intent of Vegetaing the planet, because Brightburn definitely was sent there to like wipe us out for whatever reason. He was a Saiyan, Kryptonian kind of concept.
I stand corrected. Honestly, I must admit I didn't actually see it. The very premise repelled me.
Oh, you need to see it because it's a kid who gets like Kryptonian like powers, but because, you know, he's got this like thing in the back of his head telling him, okay, it's time to start wiping out the indigenous life. Yeah, it's good stuff. Jace, what is your thoughts on the fight nobody asked for? Like, people argue about Goku versus Superman to this day, but did anybody really ask for Homelander versus Superman? I didn't.
No, but I'll tell you what it's a part of. It's a part of the fact that Homelander became something beyond what they wanted Homelander to become. He became a running meme for a lot of people that are, for lack of a better term, considered the chuds. And so, you know, they made Homelander, and the creator of The Boys, Eric Kripke, apparently, you know, conditioned the TV version of Homelander to be sort of a satire of what they consider MAGA, what they consider right wing, et cetera, et cetera. But what happened is, just like a lot of other jokes that are made by people who are politically a little bit, you know, unable to distinguish fantasy from reality, you know, it took a life of its own as a meme. People embraced the meme, much like they do like the JD Vance meme or the Pepe, and just turned Homelander into just this thing that they use to meme. So what they've done now is what they did in comics. You've also seen it happen to Chris Pratt's Star-Lord in the comic space, where they made Chris Pratt into a bisexual, or Star-Lord into a bisexual character, is let's deconstruct the character as a gotcha because we don't like something that's connected to this character in one of the alternate mediums. That's what's going on here. They're going to try to, you know, bring Homelander in, probably add a bunch more ridiculous things to make the character unpalatable to a certain side of the aisle, and then have Superman beat the living crap out of him. But to answer another question, like you said, why everything is becoming Fortnite. One, I think it's because with the dwindling sales of just about everything across the board, movies, TV, video games, and the like, the only way they see that they can attract people into it from outside is to just put something other people like into something else and hope that it brings people in. So now everything is a crossover. Everything has what essentially not even Fortnite syndrome, it's Smash Brothers syndrome.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is that when everything looks the same, nothing is nothing is diverse. You know, they claim about diversity of product. Well, now everything just looks the same because everybody's in everything, and it doesn't matter if it's West or Japan or anything else. Everybody's crossing over with everyone, and I think the reason the corpos are doing it is because of the fact that they know ultimately when AI becomes sort of more of the lay of the land, we're going to be doing it ourselves. So they figure they might as well cash in now before, you know, independent people start sort of encroaching on that territory.
Absolutely. Those are all great points. I want to add to that because these crossover events and everything becoming Fortnite is basically tailoring to people our age, because when we were young and we were sitting at the tables at school or whatever, talking about, hey, wouldn't it be cool if Godzilla fought King Kong, and et cetera, et cetera. It's the conversations that we had now actually being put to light. Like, I remember having conversations with my dad, God rest his soul, about Freddy versus Jason. And I said, "You ever think they're going to have a Freddy versus Jason movie?" And he said, "Not in a million years." And one came out about 18 months after he died.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, I'll tell you this, folks: defeating Superman is easy. You just have to say 1A, 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 right? James Gunn, 1A. Come on.
Yeah, they did it back in the 70s, right? I mean, put him under a red sun to fight Muhammad Ali.
It's just ridiculous, folks. Things only band together when the end is near. That's the thing you'll notice throughout all of human history. The strange bedfellow effect, where once rivals become friends to deal with a common enemy. Who's the common enemy of all these franchises? Us. All of us, to parallel what Jose was saying. Content creation is the way forward. The democratization of entertainment is the way forward. We, the people, are an institution. And when we manifest our creations into the zeitgeist, the opposition, the entertainment industries, will cease to exist. It would be like the Phoenix being unleashed against Apocalypse in that X-Men film. That will be the outcome, because there's so much potential in the people. It just needs to be organized. That's the one weakness of the people as an institution, a lack of organization. You look at the idea of Superman, and you look at the idea of Homelander. One is an ideal, and the other one is more grounded, more realistic, more cynical.
Bitterly satirical.
And yes, satirical as well. But a lot of people do support Homelander. I would support Homelander because I know for a fact I would support Regime Superman, because I know for a fact that law and order is a very strong foundation, even if it means Superman doing in a teenager in Young Shazam.
Well,
that was horrible.
The thing that comes to mind is Judge Dredd. And one of my favorite Dredd lines of all time was from the Dredd versus Death omnibus. He said, "The cost of justice is one thing, and that thing is freedom."
Does anybody, and just as an aside to you guys, does anybody remember there was an old black and white Captain Marvel / Shazam movie, and he was throwing people off of buildings and off of cliffs? Because it wasn't considered egregious to do so. So he's just throwing everybody to their death.
Well, that'd be a good crossover story, Jose. Captain Marvel versus Captain Marvel.
My money's on Captain Marvel. Mr. Eagle Flying Hail, and thank you for the drive-by like and love. We'll give you another one of these because I'm not Doomcock and I can't impersonate an eagle cry. But it's happy to have you here, brother, and thank you for leaving a like and a love. Scooby, what have you got coming up on this issue? What's your opinions?
I can't really say any more than you guys have already said. You guys have pretty much said everything for me.
Well, that's good. We are getting a little pressed for time. We got 2 more segments. Marcelo, do you have anything you want to contribute, my friend?
I'm just going to say that this is an ill-conceived idea as a part of a fever dream, and someone get him some medication to talk him down off the ledge.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
He needs to talk to James
Gunn. Step back from the
Leave
ledge, my friend.
Yeah, leave it alone, baby. Leave it alone.
This feels like it could be part of someone getting hands on IP they personally detest, if they're handling Homelander and making him even worse in a way that will surely backfire once again. And I think it was well observed that this could just be a desperate grab by the established IPs to keep share and try to keep locking out any IPs they don't control themselves. It's beyond even being averse to taking risks on new ideas. They're terrified any new ideas will take root.
Yep.
Absolutely. You
That's
are 110% correct. I want to go ahead and we'll cap this off at 139 on the nose. if my computer will let me do it without any issue. 139 no's. And I think we had one. I don't know if I had acknowledged this one. Yes, I did. So we don't have any super chats this section. So we're just going to go ahead and we're getting into a funny topic. I don't know what it is whenever I do the community news, but somehow Hassan just happens to be involved in 90% of it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Why can't we all just get along?
It's the YouTube community and the streaming community abroad, and we don't ever really get along, do we? So, while we're on that subject, Destiny, because that's a name, right? Mm-hmm. Destiny called Hassan for dodging a capitalism debate with Ben Shapiro. I thought I would never read that sentence. I thought that I would never see, thing one telling thing two to go and hang out with Dr. Seuss. I mean, here we are. 2025 is almost over. I've seen it all. I have seen it all. He's such a loser, such a bitch. He's dodging the odds of Hassan orchestrated that word. Charlie Kirk just went up. Now there's people saying that Hassan orchestrated that whole mess. Do you hear yourselves? I thought this was your number one topic. Well, this is already going to be our number one topic. Yes, Hassan does have resting douche face. Can we all just lock him in a room? Oh, yes. Furious Stan says, give us a Megatron, Tony. Maybe on the variety show we'll have Megatron come back. Expect some more Megatron until we meet again, shorts, as we give Skeletor another bit of a break after he done his Eternian World Tour for memeing. So your Megatron content is coming alongside, and this is because of our executive producer from the other night, Decepticon Captain Ledoux, Megatron reading bedtime stories in the vein that Major Payne did the Little Train Engine That Could. So you can imagine him just starting off all nice and casual with it before just, making it about bloody war. And that's going to be hilarious. So expect that content coming out very, very soon. But in the meantime, let's digest this big fat nothing burger, shall we?
Me to do a fucking debate on CBS News with a person that happens to be on this panel.
You know what coverage? I honestly thought you wanted coverage when I don't know you shot Kira.
Ben fucking Shapiro.
Hassan fucking Piker.
That's right. They
Can you listen? Look at the speed his chats are flying.
Yes.
Look at the speed that this guy's chats are flying, and I'm thinking to myself, I'd like chats like that, but obviously not for this reason. God no.
But Tony, the worst people become popular. I mean, Destiny, Hassan, and Ben Shapiro. I'm thinking Alien versus Predator versus Terminator.
Yeah, is this one of those DC crossovers?
That's a crazy crossover right there.
Oh,
well,
Lord.
shit.
Oh, AJ,
once again,
AJ
everything is Fortnite.
AJ, everything's Fortnite. I'm gonna rename this stream to Everything's Fortnite.
I honestly, I say that because I don't know who's the alien, I don't know who's the Predator, and I don't know who's the Terminator. All three of them can fit that archetype so well.
But whoever wins,
and if any of them win, we lose.
Yeah.
Right. Jinx,
right Look, I only have 2 pockets, and there's 3 of them.
That's it. That's all it is, man. It's all it is.
We usually save super chats to the end of the show, but this is just too relevant given the ball busting that we're dishing out. AJ Starhiker with a very generous $5 super chat. Hail and thank you, dear. She says, "I'm saying it shocked me Hassan dodged the debate, but well, not a dog.
This whole thing just makes me feel like Bill Paxton in the movie Aliens.
Literally
Game
want
over,
me to
man.
do a
Game over.
Game over.
CBS News debate with Ben Shapiro. And I said I would do it as long as it was about Israel-Palestine, and they want to do it over capitalism.
He's such a loser.
Look at that.
I prefer nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
This is where I will bring out the quote of from Fry from Futurama.
Yeah.
I am shocked. Well, not that shocked.
Guys,
look at that poor dog laying there. That's the real oppressed. That's the real oppressed entity. Poor Kira.
One of these guys will shock dogs. One of these guys will shock kids. And one of these guys will shock their own bollocks. Okay, that is Hassan Piker, Ben Shapiro, and Destiny.
Yeah, what we're seeing here is clearly the Ouroboros effect on the left. I'm sorry, it's just the Ouroboros effect on the left. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, these guys. I want success, but I'm never gonna do it this way.
I can't believe he's such a pussy ass bitch. He's dodging.
Why do we even have to comment? All we have to do
The
is
odds that Hassan orchestrated the Charlie Kirk assassination just went up 10 feet.
You see?
Dude, what? You guys are cannibalizing each other.
I was like, yeah, that's boring.
Capitalism is boring. I thought this was like your number one topic, dog. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I know he wanted to pretend to be Chinese. That was our thing last week.
And I was like, yeah, that's boring. So it's so funny that she's me to do.
Lord, and be sure to check out Yeet on X.
Oh boy.
That covers all of the streamer drama that we use a big bulk of it for our community news segment. So yeah, the writing's on the wall. Everybody just hates each other. This is the greater streaming community abroad. It's like the people that want to like collaborate and bring people together are becoming less and less. And the people that are successful are going to say anything, literally anything, to elevate their already lofty platforms. I mean, when Moist Critical said, "I'm not going to take any more donations, guys. I feel guilty." I thought to myself, "Man, that must be a nice bit of guilt to trip over." Here I am running a podunk little dive bar compared to you. I would absolutely love to have that guilt trip.
But we didn't talk about that on that stream. But the fact that he did that, the fact that he did that is for no other. I mean, I could be financially incorrect, but I don't think I am. Okay, the net win for him was greater to do that than to continue to take supers and anything else that he's going to get here or on other platforms. Monetization from some other source is exceedingly overriding, such that the fact that he does that is in the better interest of whatever monetization he's getting.
His public image, I get that he's doing it for his public image, but is it really his public image that he needs to be worried about? He doesn't need to worry about his public image. If people want to support him, they're going to support him.
No.
Well, a bigger example would be Mr. Beast literally funding wells for Africans to trigger another refugee crisis.
Didn't Mr. Beast just do some sort of collaboration with the Rockefeller Foundation?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And I was actually considering discussing that this week.
And he's doing a collaboration with an amusement park in Dubai, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's either Dubai or Saudi Arabia. It's one of those.
Yeah, they call it Beastland.
And I think he's also doing a collaboration with himself.
Well, I'm sure he does that on a regular basis.
I was about to say, this is Mr. Beast. If there's anybody that he wants to play with, it's certainly himself.
I mean, debating between Hassan, Destiny, and Ben, it's like debating what kind of cancer you want: colon cancer, heart cancer, lung cancer.
Yeah,
it's still
the wheel of cancer, Digny. The wheel of cancer.
Yep.
Well, we could pass the talking stick around, but I think that the writing is on the wall for this one. What do you guys think?
Righty.
I mean, I have to say with these guys, it's just so funny because they have, very similar viewpoints, very similar positions, but they're so desperate, they're so insecure, they are so full of their own egos that they cannot put it to the side because one of them has to be the top dog. It's two beta males arguing over who is the top beta male on all of the internet, and it's hilarious to watch and kind of pathetic. I think that if you put them into a room instead of them offing each other, they would probably start making out.
Right.
These guys are.
We'll bring in one of my old Barry White records. I think it'll fit their speed.
Right. But the biggest irony here is that these are the same people who the one thing they are aligned against is everybody else. And they tell us that we're all chuds, we're all bad people because we don't embrace socialism, communism, whatever ism that they're currently on about. And the funny thing about it is people are more welcoming and more willing to get along in this sort of side of things than with their purview. Unless, of course, you're Ben Shapiro, in which case it's like GTFO because, when he comes in here, how do you do, fellow people how do you do, fellow chuds? I want to put my hand right down deep in your pocket.
DSP is a political commentator. Ben Shapiro.
Listen. I got my facts. Listen, I got my facts and logic right here. I got my charts. Okay.
To be fair, Ben Shapiro and Hassan have something in common. Hassan has a dog with a shock collar, and Ben has Matt Walsh with a shock collar.
But he's smart enough not to do so on camera.
No,
yes.
Get back to work, Matt Walsh.
Can confirm.
No picture, but you got to follow that.
Well, for the record, I thought
let the director talk. I want to get his viewpoint. Let the director talk.
Thank you. I find it funny that anyone thinks that Hassan Piker could have taken out Kirk. That guy clearly follows orders, doesn't issue orders. No one should be listening to him. They do, but I don't think he really does that much commanding. Shapiro, on the other hand, we'll move on. I just hope, and I think I can speak for everyone, they all need to finish choking on each other to death.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In Minecraft. Thanks, YouTube.
In Minecraft. Yeah. In Fortnite. In
figuratively, I mean, Fortnite. They probably won't actually cannibalize each other. We can only hope.
In DCKO number 2.
In DCKO number 2. That's right. In a world where Superman was defeated by Homelander, the next fight of the century across the multiverse. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. See these titans of the industry square off in DCKO issue 2. The fight for the top beta spot. This summer 2027.
It'll be the fortnight before that.
Ben Shapiro looks like a DC villain. He will drain your bank account. Literally. But in all seriousness, when we look at this whole situation, it just proves a theory I have about what we do. The more prominent the creator, the less likely they're a good person. It's a sad thing to say, folks, but on average, some of the most prominent creators out there, on average, are the most despicable of people. Like Destiny.
Are you saying that's why Mr. Beast has eyes like Dexter Morgan?
Mm-hmm. I mean, Jose, T-Series is literally a satanic Indian company, and they have less support than Mr. Beast.
Right? Yeah. I mean, and the funny part is,
but it's true.
We talk about Mr. Beast and stuff like that, but there's other, there's other creators that if you listen to their stuff early on when they were building their presentation, I'm not going to call it a platform, okay? I'm just going to put out the initials, MKHB. Okay, that was a different person than what you see today. Yeah. That was a more I'll say it this way, a more self-reflective, less full of themselves person. Mm-hmm. Just by how they expressed themselves, Digny. Mm-hmm. The words they chose when they were reviewing things were less full of themselves. And I'm going to leave that right there.
I mean, the more support you gain, the more confident you are in yourself. Let's just admit that, folks, okay? My mentor had a solid support base, and he went crazy as a result. But I will make it clear, arguing between these three creators in question is akin to arguing which cancer you want in your body.
Right.
So those are my thoughts.
What kind of chemo would you like, Digny?
The Hiroshima treatment.
I mean, that's the whole point. What
That
kind of
about,
chemo
baby.
would you like?
Hail to Top Hat, gentlemen. I don't know if I've hailed you yet. Good to see you as well, my friend. And yes. Scoobs, your thoughts? Why can't we all just get along?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I don't want to get along. I want them to have mutual destruction, and then we can all move along ourselves.
Hey, at least none of them are Candace Owens.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment on the Candace.
All right, the son of Mars.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tap out and say, I agree with what everybody else has put out there so far. And I think that we've given them way more airtime than they genuinely deserve, individually or collectively. I say,
3 minutes is a little much. I agree. Yeah,
let's move on with our lives.
All right. Well, we got one last super chat that crept in, and we'll go ahead and have Alistor introduce that.
Let's see if we have any super chats in the picture show.
The great Admiral Teague, yes, it is good to see you, my friend. Hopefully life is treating you well. With a very generous $5 super sticker of a pair, laughing and having a good time. I am happy that you are having a good time. And yes, I will go ahead and I will play this clip again simply because it's such a good bumper before we get to our last segment, which is our fun segment of the night. And we like to rotate our fun segments. It's not just always going to be like a movie or a music album we love. Sometimes we react to AI slop. I believe Max the Cat will be back next week. We'll be watching Max the Cat totally bully a bunch of cats again. So that's going to be a lot of fun next week. But yeah, when I say, why don't we just?
Why can't we all just get along?
This is a YouTube community and nobody gets along. It's just so good. All right. With that, our next, but our last, but not our least segment in our fun segment is a little bit of that good old fashioned controversy. It's controversial.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news,
sir.
Go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody? No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that this totally not fake news article that we are about to read is one that I think a lot of people are going to be ecstatic for? And that, of course, is getting ready for the holidays. And I have to say that this is a time-honored tradition that I think everybody should embrace. And that is, of course, leaving your kids home alone. Now you're probably wondering, okay, guys, why should you leave your kids at home alone? Well, let me tell you, because crime rate is just up, especially, in like the downtown Chicago area. And, having somebody at home, especially if they have a ready supply of random household objects that would normally kill a man, is just ideal. And a reminder, folks, if you leave your kids home alone this holiday season, make sure they have plenty of paint cans, blowtorches, and a cutout of Michael Jordan, the last part being the most important. U.S. authorities issued a public service announcement in time for the holiday season, reminding parents that if they leave their children home alone, they should ensure that they have plenty of paint cans, blowtorch, and a cardboard cutout of Michael Jordan. In a pinch, a cardboard cutout of Shaquille O'Neal will also be acceptable. The Federal Administration of Children and Families held a press conference on Wednesday in which it called the public to remain vigilant throughout the holidays by keeping a sufficient supply of said materials, including bowling balls, nail guns, tar, micro machines, hot irons, old gangster movies, and tarantulas. We know the holiday season is a very busy time of the year, and it is tempting to leave your kids home alone while you run errands or fly to Europe. But if you do, we are asking you to do the right thing and make sure they have access to your tool shed and a cutout of a major sports figure. FACF Director Richard Keller said, and please keep in mind that your state's self-defense laws to determine if Michael Jordan cardboard cutout is right for your family. Families were also being encouraged to hit the stores early to stock up on supplies before all the feathers and large fans were sold out. Do not wait for Black Friday sales. It will be too late, authorities warned. At publishing time, authorities also encouraged families to make friends with a kindly old man who salts the sidewalks on their streets. This is becoming a time-honored tradition. Leaving your kids home alone is quickly becoming the next big thing. But you got to remember, if there's anything that's going to help your kid grow in character, as well as potentially getting lost in New York a few years later, it's to make sure that they're prepped for any and all home invasion scenarios. Director.
Kids these days, spoiled rotten, the lot of them. When I was a child, I had to make do with some scraps of wood from grandfather's workbench and some rusty nails to put under the door of the fence. Actually, I'm very lucky I wasn't sued for that.
Yeah. You know, I asked Santa Claus one time for a Roddy U-238 and I got socks. I was very upset. We all don't get what we want.
We have to work with what's available to us, but I certainly didn't have blow torches and cardboard cutouts and bowling balls and tarantulas.
Right. Well, I mean, as we start embracing new holiday traditions like trunk or treat for Halloween, avoiding Thanksgiving get-togethers from your family during Thanksgiving, this is a relatively new trend of leaving your kids home alone, and it's good that the federal offices and the authorities are doing their best to provide at least ample advice going forward with this up-and-coming trend.
I could have done so much more with a blowtorch. I mean, I know 3 different ways to make that into a proper flamethrower like that.
Jesus, how can you keep a straight face?
Well, you can't.
Show business.
Thankfully, back in the 50s when you were a teenager, you didn't need any of that because the law was on your side.
Yeah, that's true.
Jace, are you the kind of person that leaves your kids home alone whenever you want to take a ski trip or go out and run for errands, or maybe in the case scenario of going and getting cigarettes and scratch offs and not coming back? I mean, that's
very common here in Atlanta. So there is that. But aside from that, I think that it is very important that you understand the importance of leaving your children home alone. Thinking they're going to Disney World, don't bring your kids. That just ruins it for all the perfectly sane Disney adults that break down and cry when they meet Winnie the Pooh. You're just ruining their time by having these little crib midgets running around, throwing their trash everywhere and screaming and having a good time. No, we can't have that. Leave them at home where they belong. Okay? Just leave them at home. Don't ruin the time for everybody else. There are grown adults trying to enjoy their time. You just need to leave those kids. They're just, look, there are a lot of stinks. There's a lot of dinks. They want to have a good time. They can't do that with your kids running around. You leave them out where they belong. Make sure they have ample supplies. Maybe some candy bars and some food so they can live for 3 days. Actually, the human being can probably eat without or not eat without 3 days. You gotta have water though. So you gotta leave water. That kind of thing. I think it's much better off. And hey, look, it would be a good time for you guys to get the peace and quiet. You don't have to hear them. You don't have to feed them. You don't have to cook for them. What a pest! Ruining your streaming time. Ruining your streaming time with those demands. Mom, I'm hungry. Mom, I need to go to the bathroom. Mom, the dog bit another kid. Hey.
And most importantly, won't someone think of the Disney adults?
Yeah, exactly. Look, you keep that birth rate low, and the AI will do the rest.
folks.
This was the segment you were waiting for all night. I can tell.
We're gonna keep the kids home alone so that they can live stream on Kick and then kick Jose's 73-year-old mother down the stairs. Okay, that's what we're gonna do.
It's called going viral, Digny. It's called going viral.
I know. But one essential reason for keeping your kids home alone this Christmas is because if they come with you, they might get sent to an island. And no, I'm not talking about.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
I thought they shut that ride down.
No, that ride's gonna last forever, director. I don't care what they release. It'll either be all redacted or all bullshit. Okay? Keep your kids home alone. Otherwise, they're going to get the ride of their life. Or death, depending.
Don't stay home alone. Then who's going to get the political takes from Hassan Piker?
That's true. That's true.
Scooby, you got to follow that. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Well, first off, I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about leaving kids home alone.
Well, that's good.
So basically, I get off scot-free. I don't have to worry about anything happening to my house. I don't have to worry about dealing with any kids putting up shit in my house. So,
well, be careful, Scooby. You might be the one who ends up home alone.
If I hey, I have been home alone many, many times. I know how to take care of myself.
All right, so with your experience, I have to ask you, how effective was paint cans, micro machines, thumbtacks, and the occasional exotic spider useful in defending your home against zany, wacky, sticky bandits?
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know because I didn't end up using any of those things. Instead, I gave them my brother's Playboy magazines and sent them on their way. They seemed perfectly happy with that.
Yeah. They became the stickier bandits.
They became the sticky and the wet bandits. Don't look too deep into it, folks.
Oh, boy.
The son of Mars. Do you think that this is a good statement from the authorities that tooling your kids up for the casual amount of character growth that can happen in life or death situations where Looney Tunes level traps are the solution and not the problem?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are that this is a clear distinction between an Anglo home and Hispanic home. Okay, very simple. Very simple. In a typical Hispanic home, you would have been equipped with either a baseball bat and or a machete, and equipped with how to use one of the two of them, perhaps both. Okay, so in that kind of a situation, were you to have been left at home? And frankly, back in the 1970s, okay, I mean, if you were very young, you had babysitters, but after a certain point where it's like, okay, great, mom and I are going to the grocery store, we're going here, we're going there. There's the TV. Here's some food. You're good. God help anybody trying to get into the house because, if you had the baseball bat at your hand or a machete for that matter, there were going to be questions asked after the fact, frankly, in our culture, you were taught to treat your home as a fort. For lack of a better phrase, defend the fort. You didn't have cannons on the ramparts, but for crying out loud, repel the invaders. It's as simple as that.
Sounds good. I honestly feel like with all the tower defense apps that we have on our phones these days, having a little bit of that real life equivalent to defending your home from all points of weaknesses actually builds real life skills that no amount of apps could ever have on their phone.
I'm a bit disappointed Son of Mars left out the most important Hispanic weapon, the chancla.
Yeah, grandmother,
the chancla, a thrown projectile weapon that instills fear and control.
And at level 20, you unlock dual wield.
Those things, when wielded by a Latin grandmother, are transdimensional weapons. they transporters from Star Trek got nothing on those suckers. They can go around corners. They can go through walls. They can go through doors. Yeah, they can go through doors. I swear they can probably go through floors in a house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you need common sense grandma control.
In a Hispanic family, they will say it even once you are in your 40s. I brought you into this world. I'll take you right back out. How do they take you right out? They take you out with the chancla.
Guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's one person we know that is constantly threatening people with the chancla, it is Sonia Lysette.
That is very, very true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more super sticker that crept in here. Let's go ahead and acknowledge it. And I think it's about time to go ahead and start winding this pony down. I want to thank everybody that had strolled through here. I want to give a special shout out to Jay Viper for sending his folks our way and giving us a little boost, especially over there on the Green Machine. So let's go ahead and read this last super. Sig Volleson with a very generous $1.49 super sticker of Marcelo Lopez's favorite fictional creature.
Just get it over with, Tony. Just get it over with.
But maybe I want to pour the salt on the wound. Yeah?
Let's get it over with.
Go ahead and do a quick chat roundup. We got about 5 minutes that we can allocate towards that. And again, thank you, Admiral Teague, for the very generous super sticker. That means a lot. Tim Olson says, so we should stop supporting people. We should stop supporting people that are taking your support for granted. Help your small creators become big creators so that they can turn around and help you whenever it's your turn to take their spot. That's my attitude towards it, where there's always going to be somebody that's going to follow you. So the least you can do is give them a hand. Let's see here. Hail to our good friend out there, Marcelo Lopez, who says, when we forget we're trying to have a good time, we relinquish something fundamental, agency, as in I make up my own mind. I remember after watching that, going through my house and figuring out what could be repurposed for booby traps and escapes, says AJ Star Hiker. See? Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. You know I'm going to be bringing that back. Listen, I love reading Angels with Filthy Hearts, and I use the radio filter that I use for the Radio Demon, and I have the Tommy gun and everything. I know that script by heart. Expect it. Sig Volleson, thank you for the Unicorn Super Sticker. We did not get to our goal today, folks, but this will be a recurring goal. If we get $100 or $10 super chats on any StarkCast, we will do a special edition of StarkCast starring you. That's right. If you helped get us there will be a new show where you are my co-anchors. Basically, that's like saying, oh, I can actually bring my own articles. Yes, you can bring your own articles. Please bring topics. We'll make it a massive, much longer event than the 2-hour thing, but we did not get it today. But hopefully in the very, very near future, we'll definitely see a StarkCast starring you. And Sig Volleson coming back in hot with a double your pleasure.
Unicorn!
Sonya is mean with that shoe, says Fox Hill. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Again. Well, folks, this has been a wonderful StarkCast Mk21. I want to give special thanks to Jace from Cancel This Podcast. We'll go ahead and have you plug first as we go around the horn. My good friend, what have you got coming up?
Thank you, brother. I'm Jace with Cancel This Podcast. Had a great time here tonight. Shout out to StarkCast and everybody in the chat. I'll be game streaming tonight on rumble.com/cancel this podcast. We do shows Thursday nights at 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where politics meets pop culture with snark, sarcasm, and satire. And we also have a Tuesday show at 5 p.m. Eastern. My co-host John co-hosts Happy Hour, sometimes with the Dignified Cartoon Gentleman, as a matter of fact. So be sure to check it out. Give us a follow over on Rumble. And again, we are too crude for YouTube, so we are exclusive to alt tech platforms. Thank you guys, and I appreciate you being here. Would love to do it again anytime. Stark, appreciate you, brother.
You bet, my friend. We'll definitely have you back on, especially whenever we do our fake news segment. You were very, very good at that. Director,
Well,
what
if
do we
you
got
would
coming
like to
down
follow,
the pipeline?
well, the usual schedule maintains. Tomorrow should be the SB read, unless, of course, this bug that's been plaguing me all week should take me down lower, which probably won't happen. Probably. After that, Tuesday, I'll be on side quest, portraying authors, and then the cycle repeats with the experiment here and so on. If you really want to find out where, well, just search for Director Archer. If I'm on your preferred channel, you'll probably find me. Otherwise, it's been not to be here as usual. Oh, right, awesome. One more thing.
Yes.
Didn't you said that all the big creators are horrible people? The more pumped they are, the worse they are. I don't think that's organic, and if you're wanting to fight that, well, then support the best creators you can find to compete.
Absolutely, absolutely, my friend, and congratulations on becoming a permanent member of our StarkCast team. And we cannot wait to do more collaborative projects in the very near future, including perhaps getting the Silver Shroud thing off the ground. The Dignified Cartoon Gentleman, the mastermind behind the network. What are you doing in the near future?
Well, folks, Sunday will be the debut episode of the, what is this now, the 7th network show? How many are there nowadays? Which will be led by Lord Triton and his crazy gang of radicals. That's going to be an exciting show, and an underrated one, too. That'll be tomorrow at 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern. As for me, I'm only 3 subscribers away from 250. November has been a fantastic month. Don't ask me how a sub 250 channel can get 12,000 views without making a single short. I don't know how. It's unbelievable. But expect a network show every single day on Discuss Things channel, on Cancel This Podcast, on, of course, my own channel, as well as with the 40K Empress, Dash Attack, Stark of Iron, and Lord Triton. A network show a day keeps suppression at bay. And subscribe to me.
Absolutely. If there's one thing this guy knows how to do, it's make a network and then call it the exact same thing, because branding, am I right? Scooby!
Yes.
What you got coming up, sweetheart?
So I will try and do some game streams for the Barcade. Right now, I'm gonna have to put Silent Hill F on hold because YouTube and I are getting into a bit of a dispute over Silent Hill F. Who've just recently been getting a hold of me saying, hey, if you want to play the game, you're gonna have to mute the entire time. Not just mute the game, but also mute myself. So I gotta figure out a way around that. So once I figure out a way around that, I'm gonna start up again because I really, really, really want to finish that game with you guys. I promised I would, and I am not going to shortchange you guys on my promises because I never do. Friday, another episode of Stu Puck's Reviews, that being the 3rd video drop for Season 1 Has Been Hotel Review. And Saturday, another Scooby Pups podcast episode, 5 p.m. Eastern. Yes, to be announced.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. I see that some people are going WTF and fucking YouTube. What's going on, folks? And FKT 2005 just said he subbed to Digny, and
Thank
only
you.
2 subs away from 250. Marcelo, Son of Mars, Alf's lawyer, Harvey's lawyer, everybody's lawyer. What's going on?
Well, no, for now, getting stuff ready.
Not ready to launch just yet. I'm the only one without a channel here, but that'll be coming soon enough. Preparing some things, going to brand something a little differently than the picture you see behind me, but kind of flavored like that, if you will. Yeah, I'm gonna support my boss here and my client, or my client's household supplier, and be there for everybody. And just stay tuned, and you'll get more information when I get up and running. And who knows, maybe Digby will do network number 8 with me.
Well, who knows? Who knows? The more, the merrier. I'll do as many network shows until I go nuts. How about that?
There you go.
Well, that's not going to be that long of a wait. All right. Well, broadcasting from the newly acquired Vox Tech location, because it was definitely in my best interest to take over this building after a certain TV decided to go off the rails, as it were. We got a lot of stuff coming up this week, including tomorrow, a bonus episode of the Black Widow Files starring Ginger Wolf. And if we go all the way to DEF CON 1, then it'll be weapons free and Rumble only. That's right. Boobies, because who doesn't like boobies? And shout out to Casey Azowski. We are going to be starting at DEF CON 4 instead of DEF CON 5 for his overt generosity. So that means that we do not need to make as much to get there. So come while the getting is good. And if Ginger is unavailable, we will still have plenty of Ginger Wolf content that she has sent me prior. She may have to work tomorrow. We will keep you posted on that. On Tuesday, the Radio Demon will be broadcasting Radio 616. Imagine a variety show as the Radio Demon for about 2 to 3 hours. We're going to have creepypasta reading, old song performances, maybe even a little bit of that ragtime piano coming back to YouTube. But if you have a VR headset or just a computer or veritably a toaster because you can run on it, consider finding the Radio Demon every Monday and Wednesday nights on the VR chat circuits. I am the only Alistor in that community that actually jockeys a radio station. I guess everybody else just doesn't understand the assignment. But I digress and digest. On Wednesday prior to, we will have a Rumble exclusive karaoke, just like we did last week, because that was also unlocked last Thursday. And with Stark's Thursday matinee coming into the holiday season proper, expect all of those old holiday parodies getting dusted off. Yep, it's that time of year. I'm going to be singing them Christmas carols until I'm absolutely sick of them by the end of the month. So keep those festive smiles on. And as always, StarkCast here on 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find Alf on the Cotton Connection. He will not be there tonight, but he will be back there next week and in full. Be sure to check out our current raid target. That's right, you're going to be receiving some love. You know who you are, my friend, sir. Sir, it's so controversial. Be sure that as soon as you are at that chat that you say Stark Raid or Trust Us. Either one will work. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you all. And from the bottom of my heart and the heart of my bottom, this has been a wonderful, wonderful time. And I could not have done it without all of you folks here in the chat and all of you folks here on the panel. So, until next time, stay tuned.